now the Ziggs is open, and now as well as the Camille is open. So this gives Cerberus the choice, do I want to prioritize the Camille instead of this Ziggs? But I do like this though, at least the CES secures the best like wave clear champion in the entirety of Wild Rift. So I think it's a pretty good exchange. For Nova, however, this is a very mysterious draft. We still don't know where that's gonna go, but because if they're gonna lock in this Fiora, which is so confident, by the way, now there's no mystery to this draft. We all know what's gonna happen. Like that's gonna be top or jungle. No mystery anymore.
I mean, the moment we saw the Ziggs being first picked here by Cerberus Esports, kind of know already that Camille and the Fiora is going to be picked up. That's how much priority there is already on this kind of composition. The Cerberus Esports is maximizing the Ziggs potential with Hero's entrance here from the Galio. They can still invest on an engaged champion that can be helped out. But the Galio Kha'Zix picked up quite early, but we do see the potential of it, especially under the hands of Y1.
Absolutely. I think this is good picking it early because constantly at the second phase of the ban, it's constantly banned and not being allowed to get picked at all. So one thing I want to point out though, however, is that because Jax is banned, because Nova has two of the best split pushers in the entire game, my biggest concern for CES, what do you have left to match? Perhaps a Gwen is a very big requirement on this draft to match the late game split push and damage potential in team fights and as well as the side lanes. If they pick a tank again, or not rather again, if they pick a tank for more a neutral standpoint, I'll be very concerned of the late game here, which is what they want to go for. Look at them, they're banning all of the good top laners. Now they're forced to just play Gwen. I wonder.
Yeah, these are champions that Aku is very much known for as well, especially with the ribbon, and it's so hard to take him down whenever he picks up this champion. So they're just fully respecting Aku right now, especially with this kind of composition. Whenever we see a Ziggs, a Kha'Zix, surely there is gonna be a ribbon as well to have the biggest burst potential.
That's true. Unable to match at least for the mid game against, or early game even, depending on how mechanically you're able to mechanically win the 1v1s on top lane. But it's my concern. Like you only have Gwen left here on top side for you to be able to match. But either way, there is still that big 1-3-1 that Nova has on their side. Okay, so they're going for the tank route of things to be able to hold the early game, hold top lane. You're not gonna win the lane, you're not gonna lose the lane either. But it's okay as long as you're able to get a big amount of lead. Make sure Y1 and BMM gets the farm that they require, farm that they need, then they're gonna be okay. My other concern, Cerberus, however, is that they have what do you call this? They don't have really that mid and jungle synergy versus Nova's mid and jungle is too strong. It's really, really strong. If they put the Ziggs in the mid lane, then I'm fine with that. But if they don't, then I'll be scared for BMM on that Zeri. I like this so much better. You just clear the wave, make it non-interactive, and then just stay safe under your tower.
For a moment, I actually thought that it's Nian that's going to be using the Ionia, because earlier you said Yasuo, so maybe he wanted to have an independent version of a Yasuo, a self-initiating Yasuo, but it's actually Long, which is much better, I believe, because Long is such a hard carry, especially with this champion. It's almost impossible to win without jungle Long whenever he gets his hands on a carry champion like this. And he has used this a lot of times already, even in today's or in this tournament as well. That's gonna be scaring off Cerberus Esports a bit.
I'm really excited to see this draft as well in fruition, because just as you said, Long is going to be the absolute target of things when to make sure that he doesn't farm up a storm in the jungle. But take note, everybody, we're going to flash back all the way back in Horizon Cup, where a lot of the junglers in the grand finals, I believe it was DKG versus Thunder Talk, where it was also a very jungle-centric type of composition and approach. You basically just get stuck in the jungle, keep farming and farming and farming, and you come out of the jungle around like 20 minutes of the game and just kill everybody. But because of this Kha'Zix pick, because of this Galio pick, the technique is here to make sure that you break mid lane. That's why the Ziggs... Okay, the Ziggs is not in the mid lane, but maybe later, once they get Rift Herald, you break mid lane, you get more space to get access to Long's jungle, use Kha'Zix to invade, then you have the hero's entrance to go with you to lock Long down. This has been a technique back then, like years and years ago, and this was also the period of time where you also used a Twisted Fate for that global to make sure that you spot out where the enemy jungle is, and you just basically keep invading that jungle and make sure that that Long or the jungler just doesn't farm comfortably. So this is what I want to see from Cerberus Gaming. I want them to hammer down this composition and that a strategy for them to shut them down.
There's so much potential, Rodrigo, in Cerberus Esports composition, right? They have also the Ornn that is just gonna help so much in terms of the engage, maybe even disengage as well. That's why we're just both really excited for this particular game. I think they have the most potential right now in this kind of composition. We just need to be extra careful. Of course, this is still Long's Ionia, this is still Yitz's Fiora. So hard to take them down. If they time it perfectly, they might just take this win.
I really do hope, because this is oh, hold on. There might be a fight here. Maybe just a little bit. It's just two tanks kind of just trading on each other, except for Ita was more on the damage part of things. My other main concern, if they don't get the shutdown Long, if they do not keep Ita in check, he's going to be one of the biggest threats in a 1-3-1 comp. Like take note, there's a Camille in the mid lane as well. If you don't get priority, if you don't bully Nian out of this, you're gonna have a hard time in the late game because there's no one that can deal with the side lane split push of a Camille and a Fiora at all in the composition of CES. So they're on a strict time limit again. Mid game, early to mid game is gonna be so important here.
In terms of time limits as well, they
CES is on the timer.
Executing this perfectly every single time there's an objective available. That's their strongest point when they are grouped up. And speaking of grouped up, it's actually Nova Esports charging first, and that's a perfect way to start this game. First blood initiated by Nova Esports.
I love how immediately after level 5 they do not hesitate. They know Zeri is going to be vulnerable. They know no one's going to save them at all, and that's why they're able to quickly execute that first blood. They're even moving towards the bottom lane. If you fast push this, you're able to dive.
Yep, there's no unbreakable will for Yami, but still able to tank in so much. You need to be extra careful.
Oh my word!
3 champions, low HP. That was so risky.
Too risky. Too close. Oh,
too close.
Why one?
Why one?
What's the execute? He can kill Long actually. Oh.
Yeah.
Never
or
mind.
at least invade his jungle. He
True.
knows that Long is gonna go back into the base. This is a perfect response actually.
It is a perfect response. It is how you definitely choke resources away from Long to make sure he doesn't farm up the storm, because this is exactly what the game that he wants to play, right? Keep farming, keep farming, keep farming. Maybe I'll visit mid lane once or twice if I see an opportunity, especially the mid and jungle duo is so good. Hextech ultimatum, and then you just basically lock someone down, funnel all the damage into one target, and then boom. Especially if it's a Zeri. Genza is super squishy.
The only defensive tool, well, there's 2 defensive tools that Cerberus Esports actually has, and that's Call of the Forge God and Hero's Entrance. Maybe all of the skills of Akana is going to be used later on to try and protect BMM as much as possible when that Hextech ultimatum gets used. But I think there's still, a lot of tools here for Cerberus Esports. You have the Ziggs, you have the Mega Inferno Bomb to zone the others away, because there's a lot of squishiness as well on Nova Esports side. It's actually only Yami that's tanky enough to take all the damage.
That's true. Like, there's a... If ever, I do think Kha'Zix will have the time of his life on these squishy targets. Y1. Yeah, Y1 just gonna dive in, and then the hero's entrance will follow through. That is like... Sure kill. But Dragon has now spawned. Let's see if it's going to be a handshake instead. Whoever gets into the pit first will get the Dragon. We'll get Rift Herald. I do feel like Infernal Dragon is so important in the damage department, so this is why they're contesting it.
They need to. Here comes the Call of the Forge God. Who's gonna get that? It's a Kha'Zix! Four people, thank you, says Y1, but now they have to escape or maybe try to fight this back in a unique way. Nian gonna be falling back. Here's Entrance used defensively. Now Nova Esports lost a key objective. They have to scramble away this time around. Maybe find a way to get this RH, but they're being stopped. You'd say getting caught a bit, but good use of the repose. Now there's a good engage here by Yami. No follow-up at all, and has just given his life for this. Now Cerberus Esports just says thank you.
This is good. This is good. Now they're trying to decide whether or not they want to stay, get turret plates, or just get the Rift Herald. This is too risky for me. Duckbee doesn't have mana. It's going down quite fast. Duckbee can zone this out. Maybe it's a possibility. Oh my god! It's a bouncy castle!
Second time, double objective. Cerberus Esports against Nova Esports. This is mind-blowing. This is fantastic.
This is what I'd love to see. We are so happy with the performance of Cerberus right now. I love this composition. Let's take a look at that replay. How did it all boil down? Mega Inferno Bomb first to deal chip damage. Then you have Y1 on the sides, going invisible, getting that smite down. And the layers of CC that we were talking about is so good because look at Genza. Basically the rest of Nova were all sandwiched by everyone. So it's so hard to really pinpoint where your skills, your auto attacks, or damages are going to funnel through if your position is already broken to begin with. And now at this point it's just such a clean team fight or follow-up from Cerberus into their Rift Herald. Long wanted to steal himself because of course his objective was stolen earlier, so he wants to do the same thing. But no, it was a bouncy castle on the side of Cerberus. It was a CC lock and he was gone.
Cerberus Esports having more stability, but Yami having the ambition to isolate Duckbee right now, and it's actually perfect here. That's gonna be problematic for Nova Esports. That's too much damage and poke and CC and slows from Cerberus Esports. No matter how tanky Yami is, he's not tanky enough for everything here.
There's just so much damage. There's Zeri. Oh, the ult!
Good fate sealed. Y1 is comfortable though. Long almost got taken out. Now it's Yitze gonna be the next target. Call the force yard gonna be used to catch Yitze. I almost thought that he would die there.
Same here, but this is looking like a good sign. It's 4.1k gold lead. This is a completely different Cerberus from when we saw them back against Thunder Talk. And I really like the calls made here, the discipline, the way that they just outplay Nova in these team fights. Again, this is very peculiar, by the way, because remember, Nova's composition is a late game composition. You're looking at Kai'Sa, you're looking at Fiora, Yone. Everyone basically is a late game composition. So this is very jarring to me that Nova wanted to start a fight. Maybe they were confident that maybe it was going to be a 2v1, 3v2 rather. They didn't expect the rest of the Cerberus gang to be up there. So maybe that's why they wanted to start a fight. They wanted to even out the numbers. But at this point, Cerberus is looking really good and looking really clean.
Nova Esports having the cleanest executions, actually. Not the cleanest engages. We see spaces in between those engages, and that gives Cerberus Esports enough time to actually escape from their grasp. And not really the true embodiment here of Nova Esports. Very uncharacteristic of them, actually.
Yeah, I feel like they're getting a bit impatient. They most likely are, at least for the rest of this entirety of this tournament, they're always... Execute.
Good catch. Maybe Genza is gonna be in trouble. BM still able to escape. How is that even possible? But now everything is invested. Long and Yitze going in here, but they need to be extra careful. Call support. They're gonna be double knock up. Yitze is blown apart. As Yami as well gonna be the next start. Double kill by the Ornn is absolutely insane. As now Y1 gets the reset, gets the double jump, and now 3 for 1. Just perfect here for Cerberus Esports.
3 for 1 and a dragon as a big bonus. That's double the stacks. They get every single objective. The gold lead is ballooning up to 5k or towards 6k already after this, probably. And It's so strange to me that even though they didn't have information, Nova didn't have information, they just immediately jumped on BMM. I think they saw the rest being there, but because of that Zonius Hourglass, it really bought a lot of time. Also, I want to point out the combo. Genza with the kiting and the horn being blown. Taku, good assistance. Genza is able to kite this entire fight, despite being near the rest of Nova's front line. They're very far ahead. Nova is a late game scaling composition. They still have to farm more, especially that they're behind. The time for this composition for them to be online is 15 minutes to 20-minute mark. That's their window. It's just 10 minutes. They were fighting already around what, 8 minutes, 6 minutes? This isn't exactly the Nova that I was expecting against Cerberus.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on this. It's very uncharacteristic for Nova Esports, and the time for them to have the proper power spikes to fully take control of the game is being extended more and more every single fight that they lose. Now we see 6,000 gold by Cerberus Esports. Now we see double Dragon stacks by them as well, ahead Nova Esports, and not really the usual engages that we normally see by Nova Esports. It's odd, almost odd.
Yeah, there's always someone that's going to be... Even if they Hextech ultimatum someone, there's going to be a Galio Old Heroes entrance coming their way. Really good siege potential as well. They don't have a lot of wave clear. Maybe the Kaisa, perhaps. But it's not as powerful in range, in terms of range, like what BMM has on the Ziggs. But, of course, let's not forget the split push. Remember, 5v5 is the strength of Cerberus, so not really the 1-3-1. So, okay.
That was tempting. I would have been tempted if I was the Fiora. But wise choice. Definitely pro.
yeah, definitely professional. They have discipline. I don't have discipline. I would have done the same thing. I would have gone for it.
Gone ham with it, yeah.
Yeah,
Just,
and die.
An isolated Zeri. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I am a Fiora.
Fiora.
But Baron has now spawned. This is a critical moment for Nova Esports. Cerberus can now use this Baron as a tool to divert attention around this map, to try and bait out a fight, to keep hovering around mid and top most specifically. My biggest fear if they're always here, the Fiora will constantly go try to split push, but the problem is it might be a 4v5, so that is the exchange and the trade that both Nova and Cerberus has to think about.
And the 1-3-1 is actually helping Nova Esports catch Cerberus Esports, or catch up Cerberus Esports rather, because Camille and Fiora wins on any single 1v1 matchup here, basically against Cerberus Esports, and it's CES that actually needs to start picking up the pace, because every single time they hesitate or don't find an opening, that's how Nova Esports will climb back here.
Oh, so afraid for Yami again. Like, they really badly need Yami for Peel on the side of the Kaisa. But the next dragon is about to spawn soon. That's why they're hovering around this more doable objective and see if they can bait out another 5v5.
We're going to be looking at Genza a lot later on as well, because a while ago, he was able to kite out perfectly, right? And since Nova Esports focused on BMM on the Ziggs and wasn't able to get the burst fast enough, that allowed Cerberus Esports to actually slowly win that fight earlier.
It's very hard to deal with Genza right now, unless... Wow!
Oh, wait,
fast reflexes from Genza.
Yeah! Inhumane reflexes.
Yeah!
That was a highlight in itself.
That really was.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Dragon fight.
Here we go.
5v5.
Wow, Genza going into long? What is this happening here to Cerberus Esports? This is absolutely insane. Now they go in. Neon gets cancelled on the Hexic ultimate. Can they actually get the steal? The answer is going to be no. Cerberus Esports takes this under their control, and now they're having the full confidence, fullest confidence to charge onto Nova Esports without hesitation. Remake desperately trying to escape, but Duffy will catch him off guard, and Cerberus Esports will get that wipe out the ace here to Nova Esports. Genza with 4 kills. What is this happening? Cerberus Esports can just close out this game.
They have the Ziggs, they have the wave, there is a shield, but it doesn't matter. They can end this, they can finish this, they can take it home, they can make it into a 1-0, and they are doing it. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Woo!
Oh man! Cerberus Esports getting a win against Nova Esports. This hasn't happened before. But now, this day, Rico, this day has been a day of breaking patterns.